From the NewsTalkSTL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter. On tonight's episode, Secret Spies, Pete Turner and Morgan Lerette, Pastor Mike on his Forrest Gump life, and the Right Mind studio band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Schowalter.
I have been hacked. Is that good? Hacked. Like, not like a axe or anything. No, hacked, like your the internet type thing.
You got a loogie in the back of your throat.
Hacked. I was hacked. Okay, I tell people these scams, especially now around the holiday times, which we're in right now, okay? I warn everybody, particularly my wife, because she does a lot of online shopping and things like that, that do not, you have to be super, am I being, redundant here? Super cautious with all of these emails and text and stuff, to click on. Well, I'm the guy that's supposed to protect everybody from this, but I fell for one of my own things I told people to beware of. The roof, the roof that we're having put on. Okay?
It was supposed to be a free roof. Everyone in the neighborhood was getting the roofs replaced. Insurance will cover it. You're like, I'll throw in a free roof for
and
me,
we had those two knuckleheads in here from the roofing company that we thought were going to advertise on the show. And
I'll say their name right now.
Go ahead.
I'll tease their name for later.
Okay.
That was a teaser.
Anyway, we're trying to get them paid, of course, because that's what they want. We didn't get paid or anything. Otherwise, they would have been our sponsor. We're not going to talk about that. So anyway, I'm going back and forth with the insurance company. And the only way that they'll deal with you is through these message boards. They won't talk with you like normally. So I was getting these messages, and this person, this scammer, probably over in some foreign country, sent me something from the insurance company who happens to have initials and it starts with USA and it maybe have another A in it. Okay, so I get another message from these people and I'm thinking, okay, now what do they want? But guess what, Joey, my friend? It was not them. It was the hacker that had got a hold of me at just the right time. I clicked on it. The USAA site pops up, but it is not their real site. I put in all my information and guess what? I fell stupid to my own stupidity.
Oh, my
goodness. Yes, I did, and I'm afraid to even tell anybody this because I think I just told you because I warned everybody not to be stupid and fall for any of this.
This goes all the way up the chain, too, because for them to be able to time that exactly when you are dealing with emails back and forth with the insurance company, for them to sneak one of them phishing scams in there at the same time, there's got to be something where they get notified over in, North Korea for them to send that to you.
And that is exactly what happened.
If you call up USA and then the other A and you say, well, we got some sort of hacker thing going on, they would take it seriously. I'm sure they took it seriously when you called them.
No, you know what they said? They said, oh, I'm sorry, but you're very stupid, Mr. Todd. And I said, wait a minute. USAA is like an Indian call center. And they said, yes, and we also do stuff for AT&T and Amazon. Have you checked your order yet? And I go, no, you guys have scammed me. And I'm still, as we're sitting here, okay, and I didn't get to go for my run this morning, even though it's like, negative 20 below and we're taping this, okay? But, so now I'm all flummoxed in, and I didn't get to go on my run. And as far as I know, somebody is out there ordering new roofs from our two knuckleheads that were sitting here because they think that they're me logging onto our account.
My goodness. It's crazy that a company named USA, right?
Well, with another A.
With another A. And then you said AT&T. That literally stands for American Telegraph and Telephone.
Yes.
Has call centers in India. That should be against the law. Like when I see an American flag made in China, not on my watch. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Buy American for Christmas and make your call centers in America too.
That is very nice, Mr. Joy. Can you say that again for us?
Well, that's a reminder that the Right Mind Show store has American-made shirts, and you need to shop local. Buy one of those toxically feminine shirts right now and give it to someone you love.
Because it is the season to buy junk on the internet. Just make sure you're not scammed. Has anybody been to our store? Because you are the store manager last time I checked.
I got locked out, but then when I did the recovery email, and then I think I got hacked also.
Okay, so that's probably why I got hacked. So you've been hacked.
Maybe
we should sell I've been hacked T-shirts.
I love that. When I worked in big corporate radio, we actually had this test that would go out. It'd be a phishing test.
Yes.
And they wouldn't tell you when it was going to happen.
Like fishing with a lure?
With a capital PH, phishing, when you get an email scam. And
okay.
if you failed the test, they would tell you, you failed the test, you have to take one of these online courses and see why you're an idiot. But they wouldn't tell you exactly what the email said and what you clicked on and how you failed. I think that would be more educational if they did some sort of screen recording showing this is where the idiot clicked.
Yeah.
Instead, they just said, you screwed up, feel shame. And you have to take the test again.
And you felt
because
dumb.
I, like you, I feel like, I'm immune to these sorts of things. I'm always telling grandma and mom, don't click on stupid links. And then when you
fall for, and you're the protector, and you're the one that has not been protected of yourself. It's kind of like those things where you have to check the boxes to make sure it's really you. Do you ever do that? You check the boxes with all the motorcycles in it, or like check the box. And here's the thing: I do it, but if there's even like a little hint of it, I make sure to click it. So maybe I overclick it, and then they tell me I was wrong. I am not a human being, but I know I'm a human being because I'm doing this. Because if I weren't a human being, how would I be checking all these boxes?
I was trying to set up a Microsoft Zoom account. Is that who owns it? Something. It was a Microsoft thing. And their not a robot test was having 12 rings around a planet, and you had to know which ball was in which orbit, and then the numbers had to match. And this was the most convoluted, complex thing. I just swore off Microsoft the rest of my life. That's how angry I was. So now I'm just on my little pocket computer. I'm never using a computer again.
Wouldn't do it. I just show Bill Gates. I'd say, Bill Gates, look what I did. I just basically put you out of business when it comes to my wallet.
Stupid to pass your test. I'm never using your products again.
I watched a Bill Gates, it was something on Netflix or something, and it was all about Bill Gates and poop. Now, I said I wasn't going to bring up poop ever again on this show, but now you just led me down
We're a poop-heavy show, and I, too, try and stay away from it some weeks.
We bring up midget. Do we do anything about midget poop? I mean, we could do that, I suppose. That would be a real dirty show, but I'm not going to talk about that. But he's really big on cleaning the water in Africa, which is that's a big deal, and I more power to him. Thanks, Bill. But he did, and so he was at a conference, and so I am not making this up, my friend, to show that he had a jar of poop, and he said, the water. We're going to show you how we can purify the water using this poop. Now, he could have just avoided showing us the visual. I would have believed Bill, but no, he had to show us the poop. But now he's moved on to doing mental test with you to make sure that you're really you. That sound like a really convoluted geometry algebra equation.
That's why you are in marketing. You have a sexy way of putting boring topics right there in front so everyone peeks up their ears and pays attention. He was trying to get rid of malaria and the bugs that carry malaria, but you were like, he was drinking poop on stage.
He was drinking poop on stage. I thought, what is wrong with Bill? No wonder he was at Epstein Island. Was he at Epstein Island, too?
I don't think so. I think he was working on those COVID microchips. He had no time to be on some island.
Yeah,
not connected to the strongest of Wi-Fis.
Why did anybody want to go to that? Wouldn't you be kind of like, hey, I think you're going to, I mean, why? I mean, if you want to be around little children on an island or something, go on a Disney cruise. I mean, that just sounds really perverted, if you ask me.
I know. Did you buy any children on Black Friday? Did you get any good deals?
No, I didn't.
Or buy anything for children?
Because I was hacked. I couldn't do it. I was hacked.
I couldn't even get on Amazon.com and buy my favorite Blu-ray 4Ks because I was dealing with USAA.
I can't buy it. Well, I couldn't buy anything to begin with. You know why? Because my health insurance premiums have gotten so high, up to $1,400 a month. I kid you not. But now guess what? I mean, I don't know what the latest is on this when the show is actually airing, but that poor guy that ran the whole shop of insurance was gunned down in Manhattan. I mean, what a way to go. I mean, I guess it was a disgruntled. You think it was a disgruntled customer?
Maybe. I know there was words on the bullet casings. It said something like "psych" or "don't arrest me." I forget what the word said.
Well, how do you write that small? It must have been midgets.
Or some of those people that can write on rice. They put your name on a rice grain and put it in a necklace.
Buy those. You can buy those things, but you got to put in all your information, and then they hack you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was right before they did the Christmas tree lighting. Over there in Times Square.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this whole neighborhood was in a festive mood, and they were being brought down by all the red blood running in the streets. They probably thought it was like Chicago when they dye the river green.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the streets are running red with blood. It must be Christmas time again in New York City.
And
where's Eric Adams? Is he being convicted of anything?
Rockets? Yeah, I know exactly. You know all I kept thinking about, though? And my wife, who I'm not supposed to bring up on the show, thought this was
We never even say her name. It could be anyone in the world. We don't even narrow
Betty
it down.
Rubble. My wife, Betty Rubble. Hey, Fred. It's I kept pointing out because they showed that horrible video of the poor guy getting.
I didn't watch it. You watched it?
I watched it several times, and I want to tell you why I watched it. Because even though he was shot, I loved his sport coat. It was like a royal blue that I thought, wow, I'd love to get that coat. And I couldn't even pay attention to the horrible murder because I was wondering, can you get this at Kohl's?
Now, I've literally done this. Now, what I've done is on our Facebook chat that I left because I didn't want to be in the family thread anymore. But right before that, the day before, one of the sister-in-laws posted a picture of her new outfit for her job. And she had some sweet sneakers on it. So I did a screenshot, and then I circled it in the Google Lens app.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you exactly what kind of shoes they are and then send you a link directly on how to buy them on Amazon. So I wonder how many murder photos Google Lens gets sent, and you circle the coat on the dead guy laying in the casket, and like, you can get that from Kohl's right now.
So wait,
here's a coupon.
There's still time, and you could do this on your phone because I can't do it on my phone because I don't know if I told you, but I've been hacked. And so, I mean, if you could do that, because I'm pretty sure that they have after. He's probably like laying on the sidewalk. This is really not appropriate for me to bring up, but have I ever been appropriate? And so you're saying that you could zoom in on that coat that I want.
Just circle it with your little finger in the Google Lens app, and it knows exactly what you're looking at, compares it to the rest of the internet, and gives you a link on where to buy it.
Oh, that's great. I thought I was going to have to get like a special permission to visit the morgue or something like that, but this is much easier.
I'm worried about the future of bioengineering health because in the future...
Oh, that's a big word. Can you say it again?
I made it up. Bioengineered health. So we all wear these Fitbits, so if you take this in a long enough timeline, the Fitbit will tell you what nutrients you need and connect that to your Aldi, and then the Aldi will ship you the food that it thinks you need.
Right.
So, I mean, if your bioengineered body with your Bill Gates microchip and your Fitbit gets hacked, like could the people in North Korea tell you to go jump off a cliff or, take a cyanide capsule
You must jump off the cliff now.
Yeah, I mean, that just starts yelling at you like, left, take a left, continue, off the cliff, there's no traffic.
There you go.
Yeah, that was my GPS voice.
Oh, okay. So you're the GPS. So you have an Indian GPS?
That was your accent. My accent was just trying to be pure.
Oh, yours like, you must jump off that. Yeah.
Pure non-sexual
jump
robot.
Off the cliff.
Yes. Hurry, curry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I kill you now.
Let me tell you what's going on in my house right now.
Please
I
do.
have been delegated here at NewsTalkSTL. I am in charge of the Christmas special.
Yeah.
The Christmas special is going to air 24/7 on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And it's filled with stories from people who work here and then the best Christmas music. And then me, as a professional delegator myself, I went to my girl and I said, hey, I need you to pick out 20 Christmas songs for me to throw in this special.
Yeah.
And she is diligently listening to all the Christmas music that ever existed and picking out the very best ones so I don't have to. Are you already in the Christmas music spirit? And is there a favorite one?
I'm sorry, Joey, my friend, but I've totally blanked out everything else you've said because I lost you at they've been asking everyone at the station a Christmas story.
Every important person.
I'm afraid that they've missed somebody. As soon as you said they've asked everybody at the station,
who's who,
and I have the best Christmas stories. But you said they've asked I'm sorry, but they have not asked everyone at the station, and I lost you after that. I'm sorry. So what else were you saying? Something about the GPS?
Well, we're recording this show right now.
Right.
So if you have a Christmas story that you'd like to add, I will just cut this out and put it into the Christmas special.
You promise?
Yeah, of course. Now, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, I have
but
many of them.
There are some rules for the Christmas special. No poop.
No
midgets.
Poop. No, you can't do that. No midgets? Well, midgets are just basically elves.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we could do that.
I was thinking about the parts of my house I refuse to clean. It's usually baseboards and behind the toilet. And if there's a midget cleaning service, that's the one who I would choose.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind getting on a ladder myself, but it's getting on the hands and knees. I'm getting old now.
Yeah. Well,
Santa's Helpers Cleaning Service.
Santa's Helpers who happen to be midgets. No, I have some great Christmas stories. I mean, if you want me to tell, can I tell you about the excited Santa when we were sitting on his lap the one time? No, I probably shouldn't talk about that.
Don't lead with the punchline, but yeah, you can tell a story like that.
That's probably not a good one. Oh, we had somebody that choked on a snowball cookie one time, and then we ended up going to the funeral a week later. No, that's not a good
snowball cookie.
One.
Is that a snowball where you put a rock in the middle and throw it at someone's ear?
Exactly. But they call them, get this, they're also called wedding cookies. I don't get it. Why would a wedding cookie be called a snowball cookie?
I've heard of a wedding soup, and that tasted gross, so I have no idea why they're using this. I think it's to raise the price. Flowers cost $10. Wedding flowers, they're like $50.
Of course,
you put the word wedding on anything, you got the tax.
Well, if you just want to jump ahead to holidays, it's like Valentine's Day. I'm Mr. Romance. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am Mr. Romance. But I refuse to celebrate. I don't celebrate it anyway. It's kind of a joke. Valentine's Day, that is, a holiday.
You can't be caught doing nothing, but you have to do something even if it's a joke.
I always say, hey, I'm in a different time zone, and I wait until the day after because everything is like super cheap then. It's like the Halloween candy. Sometimes I give my wife Halloween candy I bought after Halloween for Valentine's Day the day after.
It's like you just call it Canadian Valentine's Day because they got that Boxing Day on December 26th, and everything's a little cheaper, even though in Canada everything's more expensive, so it's probably about the same. But yeah, Canadian Valentine's Day, February 15th.
What is the deal with that, too? It seems like every holiday we have, they have to, like, right after it, have another holiday. So, like, now it's some stupid holiday. So, like, right after Christmas, or is it Valentine's? Canadian Boxing Day? Canadians don't even box, okay? So I think they just made that one up. And then there was, like, one right after Thanksgiving, too, wasn't it? It was, like, Indigenous Indian Flag Day or something. You know what I'm talking about? No, it was right after Thanksgiving. Are they just that narcissistic and petty that they can't let us have our own holiday?
I call it people all over the world. My stepmom, she's from England. This is a true story.
Hello, Joy. How are you doing, dear?
And so I wished her a happy Thanksgiving, and she said, "Screw off, up yours, mate."
Up yours.
And I said, "Oh yeah, England people don't really love Thanksgiving that much, do they?"
No, they don't.
That's where the divide happened. No taxation without tea in the ocean.
Is that now Indigenous Day or is that Columbus Day?
Columbus Day is the Italian thing.
Hey, it's an Italian. Oh, hey, we had Greek people in earlier. I'm all over
racist
the
grandpas
board.
always get mad when their smartphone, automatically throws holidays on there that they're not familiar with. So Indigenous People Day shows up, and you're like, what the hell? The other one, Juneteenth. A racist grandpa does not like when Juneteenth shows up on his Google Calendar out of nowhere.
Yeah. So you're doing all these stories of people from the station, and I wasn't asked. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to dwell.
We're still recording. Tell your damn story.
I'm not trying to dwell.
Okay.
Well, I don't even know if I want to now.
You know who's going to get to the bottom of all this corruption in the station? Two secret spies that we have coming up.
Yeah, we do actually. On this show, the two spies are coming on. In fact, they're going to be on next when we come back. We got Pastor Mike coming on, who's not really a pastor, and he's going to be talking about all the crazy places he's visited and probably gotten kicked out of. Mitch has his special celebratory pageantry or whatever he's doing. I don't know. He has like bells falling out of his T-shirt.
Bell's palsy? What's wrong with his face?
That's
Christmas
why he's shaking.
season.
I thought it was like Michael J. Fox for a second, but it is Mitch. I don't think I should have said that either, but I did. But there's a lot of things else that I won't say when we come back. But in the meantime, I'm Todd Schowalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter, secret spies Pete Turner and Morgan Lerette.
Are you like me and you like great books? Well, I found a place that has a lot of great books. A traditional publisher right up in Macon County, Deep Read Press. DeepReadPress.com, that's the website to find out exactly what they have. And again, they got traditional books. They are a traditional publisher. Deep Read Press does a lot of things that I particularly like, and most of them has to do with great books. So if you're looking for a publisher to publish, or if you're just looking for a place to find a lot of great books, it's Deep Read Press at DeepReadPress.com.
Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter on NewsTalkSTL. And now a man who doesn't know anything about finding secret spies, but is pretty good at finding the guacamole at Aldi, Todd Schowalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Schowalter, along with my buddy Joey V. And now on the line, Joey, guess what? It's not one, but two of our former bestest guests. We got Pete Turner and Morgan Lerette on. They're both spies. They've both been on not too long ago.
Is this like when the vice president and the president go on separate planes in case one goes down? We've got them in two secret locations.
Yeah, that's just it, because they're spies, Joey.
Yes.
Okay, they can't tell us where they are, but they are calling from two separate locations, but they're all as one here on the show right now. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you, man?
We're doing just fantastic talking to you guys. I tell you what, here's the deal. Because, Pete, I've had you on the show. Morgan came on to talk about his book and his adventures not too long ago. One thing led to another, and it turns out that you two used to spoon together in the barracks or something. Is that what it was?
Well, in my dreams.
No, you guys are. You're former military army spies that were in the same line of work. You didn't really spoon together. I mean, that was just something I kind of made up because I'm trying to be witty, and that kind of fell flat. But you guys were in the same biz together, so to speak, as military spies. How did you meet, and how did you work together?
So I met Morgan post-military time. We probably were in the same room at some point.
Okay.
We just don't know. But, we've been friends for a long time. He wrote his book, and we have a mutual friend, Scott Husing, and that's how we met. Unless I'm wrong about that, Morgan. Is that what you think, too?
Well, I thought we were spooning, and then spooning led to forking, and then the next thing you know,
what I
exchanged
heard.
Numbers.
Yes, I heard that. And it was after a wild night of midgets and tequila or something. But we're not going to bring that up, okay? But you promised. I promised that I wouldn't. But you guys, were you guys stationed together? What is it like to be are like spies? Like Joey and I here on the radio, we're buddies, and then we go out after ice cream, get ice cream after the show. Now, do you kill the bad guys and then go out for drinks or something later on?
I mean, we can, but the truth is that most of the spy work or the intelligence work is really boring stuff. I mean, just listening to the news cycle with the United Health CEO that got shot,
right?
All the conspiracy theories, and it really is just kind of taking a step back from all that insanity and looking at the larger picture and saying, what actually happened here? So I wish I could say that I was like Jason Bourne. Maybe Pete was. But no, it's pretty mundane for the most part. I wish it was cooler. It's not Lioness.
Okay, well, we could just make some stuff up if you'd like. No, I know that. You told me interesting stuff, both Pete and you. I mean, and one of the things, because you kind of got the inside information. I know you guys are both fans of how Biden handled Afghanistan, among other things. But along with the big things, I guess you do take care of some of the other mundane things. But going back to what you just brought up, this whole thing about the United Healthcare guy that got gunned down in New York. Now, is that something that you would have, like, say, back in the day? Would you be deducting some things and trying to piece that together and figure out what might have happened?
I mean, that's my first inclination. I don't know about Pete, but I looked at the video, and the first thing you notice is that the guy had a pistol, and then it had a silencer on it, and then it jammed like 3 times. So you start going through the process of kind of identifying what happened where it would jam. So was he using subsonic rounds? Was he not? And then you can kind of see how the guy was trained. You could tell he's trained, but he's not exactly what I would call a professional hitman. Is kind of the first thing that hit me, is that he knew how to clear his weapon, but the fact that he had to clear his weapon shows that he was probably not using the correct equipment to start with. And that's really kind of where it begins for me. And then from there, my conspiracy theory, for everybody who wants to put their tinfoil hat on, is that he did his own hit. He wanted to be hit because he had a Department of Justice investigation against him. He was getting ready to get pulled up into Congress. His wife at the end of it was like, yeah, he's been having some threats. She wasn't like hysterical. I think he ordered his own hit. What do you think, Pete?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead. He's in Acapulco right now having Acapulco delights.
Really?
With his assassin. I don't know, man.
Well, that's a great, because
I will say this.
Yeah.
When I think about things like this is my job would be to try to figure out, like, through human sources, what happened or trying to prevent what happened. And if I worked let's say I worked for United Healthcare, and I'd be screaming that, like, hey, you've got millions of people pissed off at you guys, and so on black and white paper cost you less money to run your business this way, but this can get real dangerous. This is a CEO of a major corporation where a lot of people are mad. Where's the security on this guy?
That's what my wife said. She said, why didn't, you would think somebody at this high profile with that much responsibility, and like you said, I mean, not a lot of happy customers. Why there are lesser people that would have security. I mean, do you think that was an oversight or on purpose?
Well, that's why I think he ordered it himself, is because there's no way a CEO is just randomly walking around Manhattan without security.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that kind of stood out for me.
Wow. So he could have, that is, Joey, did you think about this one?
No, I was actually too scared to even watch the video of the shooting, and that's why I'm over here being blown away by
He's
these
over
two
here
spies
playing, what
with
is
their
that,
inside
Tetris or
knowledge.
something? I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, well, no, that's an interesting theory. Well, I'm going to have to ponder that and get back to you on that. I had another question, though, I want to get to. And it's all about this Secretary of Defense guy, Pete Hegseth. I mean, I think he's a great pick, but of course you got a lot of people that are already trying to trash him. I mean, as people in the biz, so to speak, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Because he's an ex-combat guy, and I think somebody like that should be running the Department of Defense. What do you guys think?
I'm going to defer to Pete on this one.
Okay. Do you like Pete?
I'm not big on the pick, and I'll tell you why. There's a couple of the jobs in the cabinet that are particularly hard. I don't think that Lloyd Austin did a particularly good job, and he was a 4-star general.
Uh-huh.
Several times, too many times, he had to look in the camera and say, I don't know how many Americans are in that country, nor can I protect them. And that's, after you say those words, you're supposed to say, and I resign.
Mm-hmm.
And you tender your resignation. But the boss can say, I refuse your resignation, you're going to stay in the job, but there's a problem there. So this job is hard, is what I'm trying to say. It is above the level of a captain or a major.
I think it was a major, yeah. Why do you think?
Right, yeah.
Why do you think he was picked? I mean, because he has combat background?
I mean, I've got combat background. Do you want me to be Secretary of Defense?
Well, I know you better than I know him, Pete. So sure, I'd pick you when I'm running.
Well, I would tell you legitimately, I don't have the experience to do that job. I'm not an administrator. The one thing about generals is they have the experience and they're administrators and they know how to run the big machine. Should it be a general? Look, that's the boss's decision. But I don't know that it's the smartest call. And then if there's any kind of character flaw, and if you're a general, you've been past most of those gates already.
Uh-huh.
But if you're any kind of character flaw, which Mr. Hegseth apparently has, then it becomes even harder. And it's just a very challenging job. And there's only a few people on the planet that I think would actually be qualified to do it, if they would do them for Donald Trump, because he causes problems internally as well.
Yeah. Okay. Who do you pick? Do you have a choice? I mean, if they said, I know, well, we've got you, but say you're sick that day and you say, hey, I'm going to stay home from school. Who would you have to take your place?
I would probably get out of the general business for a while. And I'm pretty hard on generals because they're all owed for their career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Let's set those guys aside. And I would look for someone who's an administrator, like an expert executive level person, to come in and look at this thing and say, how are we going to do a better job of being a lethal force that can be deployed anywhere and fast?
Right. And I agree with you. I think that's one of the things that they're going to try to do now because, as you know, we've got, before we've got a guy, Admiral Andy, that comes on. He put in, I think, close to 35 years in the military. And this whole DEI woke garbage that's going on, he said it's just downright demoralizing to the troops and to the people running the show. I mean, don't you agree? I mean, I think a lot of that just has to go, and we got to get back to the work of, hey, look, we're here to defend America, and we're here to be lethal, not flower girls. I mean, do you think the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think, to Pete's point, I think that the Secretary of Defense is more of an outward-facing job, right? That's more the political job. That would be great for a CEO, especially a logistics-type CEO, like the Walmarts, the Targets. I think Pete would do a good job if he was undersecretary and he got to start focusing on the inside, being able to say, let's make sure we're streamlining this, or let's make sure that we're making sure that our soldiers are being taken care of first, as opposed to always looking for new places to go out and do war. And so I do believe that Pete probably has a space in there, but to be the head of it, I mean, that's a difficult one. And I got out as a captain, which is just below major. And I can tell you that if you wanted me to be it, I would do it. But nobody wants me to be it. And I think it's the same thing with Pete.
Pete, you feel the same way? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
No,
go ahead.
I do. But I do feel the same way because, look, I know lieutenant colonels that are fantastic, in their command in the combat zone. They're the elite of their peers. Those guys aren't prepared to take on the machine part of that side of things. And you do need some weight to throw around. The title's one thing, but the authority is a different thing. So it's a really hard spot to be in. And, when it comes to war fighting, there's only so many things that you can take on and be good at. And this is critical because the reason why we lose our wars is we don't have license to do the things that we take on. So, for example, I'm pretty hard on the women empowerment thing. Like, you haven't earned the right to go and talk to another country and tell their women how they're supposed to live their lives. And so when you look at whatever it is, whatever it's woke nonsense or whatever you want to call any of these things, they all take away from the thing that you're supposed to be great at. Now, if we are going to go out and try to stabilize regions, then we should have people who are specially trained to do that, not just take infantry dudes. God bless infantry dudes, right? They can do anything, but what they're supposed to do is infantry things. So maybe spend less. Here's the best way to say this. And I talk to Navy SEALs. I know a lot of these guys. I'll ask them, have you shot more rounds in combat or had conversations? And they all will say conversations. But what do we train on? Well, we train on shooting. So there's an imbalance there, right? So across the board, if this Pete was somehow Secretary of Defense, which is a joke, but I would focus on that. Like, where does our training need to be? Pete Hegseth is hard on women in combat. Too late, dude. They're already there. They're already in convoys. MPs are up, women are up there with 50 cals. They're racking rounds. They're doing the job. I've seen all kinds of women outside the wire doing the job. So you can say, I don't think you can do it. And the Marines have a study. But the reality is they do it. And so, some of these things they take away from what we're trying to do. And if we're going to be a lethal force, make that force lean, make it smaller, make it more lethal, and then add another force that works on the other things.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. And I guess I kind of use the analogy of it's almost as if, a baseball manager compared to a player. I mean, you need somebody that can run the whole team and make the right decisions. Then you get your star players out there doing what they have to do as well. So you're saying we need more of a manager. I think that's what you're saying. And that makes sense. So, okay, well, I'm going to rethink my pick then. You changed my mind.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's not always easy. We're just about out of time. I know, Morgan, you've got a book out. Pete, you got some stuff where we can get in touch with you, our listeners, rather, where they can check out what you're working on and things you've got going. I know you get an excellent podcast with every celebrity and you name it on it. But pitch your stuff here really quick in our last few seconds.
Go ahead, Morgan.
Yeah, I got a book out. It's called Guns, Girls, and Greed. I was a Blackwater mercenary in Iraq, and you can grab that on Amazon. Got the audio version. Go pick it up.
Fantastic. Okay, and I did check it out earlier. And Pete, what do you got going on? You got any big stars coming on the show?
Oh, man, there's always something good coming on the Break It Down show. I got Andrews and Wilson here in about an hour. They're a fantastic book. But also, I've turned myself into a bit of a documentarian, and so at some point I'm going to be coming back and talking about the movie projects that I'm working on.
Fantastic.
But for now, Pete A. Turner on all social media.
Pete A. Turner. Okay. And Morgan Lerette with his book. Say the book again one more time, Morgan. Guns, Girls, and what?
Guns, Girls, and Greed.
Guns, Girls, and Greed. That's a great band name. We should, the three of us, along with Joey in the background. I mean, we should start a band and call it that. What do you say? Can we talk about that next time?
Yeah, Joey's going to have to play the tambourine.
Joey is, he's doing the cymbal. He's still learning the tambourine. Are you still learning the cymbal?
What is it? I can take you higher.
Okay, now this is why
that's Creed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I guess, oh my gosh, they're pulling us off the air here. Well, guys, it's been a thrill. I can't wait to talk to you each again, whether individually or together, because, hey, we're kind of like a band now. You guys have a great holiday. Will you join me again soon?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll catch up right after this. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
I love you.
What'd you think of that, Joey? Wow.
I mean, it's dangerous out there. I need private security, and if I could get one of them to follow me around with guns and bulletproof vests, I can go out to the mall and get my Christmas presents.
You should do it. I came up with budget bodyguards.
Yeah.
That's actually, I got the domain. I do have the ads and everything, but I thought budget bodyguards for guys like, well, not so, you're a high-profile celebrity, but guys like me that, aren't so high-profile, budget bodyguards, it's just basically like some, schlep you find without a job. Say, hey, protect me or stand in front of that bullet for me and see if they'll do it.
We could get Pete and Morgan on the app, and it'll be like a dating site, and you swipe left or right if you think this guy is fat enough to stop a bullet as he stands in front of you.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. We're fat shaming and stopping bullets all in one breath.
I wouldn't want me stopping a bullet. I'm so teeny tiny, it's going to go right through me. If we can get a big old fat Santa type guy.
We're going to fatten you up, though, for Christmas. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm bringing a big old cheese log to the party. I am still invited to the party, am I?
The Christmas party here at the station is December-ish, so
Yeah,
just
right.
kind of show up, hang around, and if you see a lot of people coming in, it's either construction workers that are painting our building white for some racist
Perpetually,
reason,
by the
or
way.
it's the Christmas party that you were half invited to.
Half invited to. In the meantime, I'm Todd Schowalter, along with my bestest buddy Joey B. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter, Mike Farmer on his job traveling the globe. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter on NewsTalkSTL. And now a man who considers the hotel's incidentals hold on his credit card a dare, Todd Schowalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Schowalter, along with my buddy Joey V. And now sitting next to me, straight from heaven, is Pastor Mike, who's not really a pastor, but we still call him Pastor Mike. But he is also a world traveler, Joey. He's been all over the world. He has lots of stories. He's banned in many countries. I'm not sure. I don't have the list here. But he said, I want to hear some spiritual stuff. And I said, I'll give you spiritual. I want to tell you about my world adventures. How are you, Pastor Mike?
I am doing very well. Thank you very much.
What happened? The wings have been clipped. I don't see your wings.
Well, it's a little cold outside for wings right now.
Oh, they shrivel, don't they?
They do. Well,
yeah, sometimes they hang.
Shrinkage. Yeah.
Shrinkage, that does happen to the best of us. Well, now, you said to me, you actually sent me an email, along with all of the spiritual stuff you do, you have to explain that you're a travel guy. I mean, you've spent a life of taking people all over the world with the business that you're in, and you put together events, you put together trips and things like that. And you said, along with that, some real crazy, wacky things have happened, and you're going to talk about it. So give us your background first on the travel side.
So I started in the travel business. I was a bellman over at Westport for a short while. Then decided that wasn't going to be the life for me. Went and became a travel agent. Did that for a couple of years, and then joined Meritz in Fenton, which is one of the biggest incentive travel companies in the world.
Yeah.
And I did that at Meritz for 10 years. Then went to a competitor of Meritz for 25, and as such have been traveling around the world. So what we do is we'll take a company, and they want to reward their top performers. And we'll take them to we'll just help them determine what destination, what the travel event looks like, all of the inclusions, and so I've been on the business development side, traveling, finding locations, and the goal is always to find something different for them, something that they wouldn't expect.
Okay, what's the most different thing? So say I have a company, I say, Joey's doing a great job. I want to send him to the moon. And you say, I can't do that, but I could do something else. What would you like? You'd put together an event specific for what I'm trying to go for?
Yeah, in essence, if you look at, say you wanted to go to Rome, right?
Okay.
Well, everybody knows Colosseum, the Vatican Museum, those types of things, right? And what I look for is something different. So on one of my pre-site inspections where I was looking to set up a trip for a client, I happened to spot a castle in the background. And I just asked my local provider there, I said, who owns that castle? I don't know.
Yeah.
And so we made an effort, found out that it was a privately owned castle by a real princess.
Really?
And we talked our way into letting her rent out her castle to us for an evening. And we did a medieval party with the jousting and the horns.
Jousting?
And everything. Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. Now, the participants didn't joust. We hired professional jousters from the
There
professional.
are professional jousters?
There's
That's a thing?
the PGA, the Professional Jousting Association.
And that's on a business card, right?
That's
It's like, hey,
somewhere.
what do you do? Well, I'm in accounting. I'm a jouster.
Somewhere.
Well, I'll be darned. So you actually put together these, unique excursions for these people.
That's the whole idea, right? We want you to get something out of the trip rather than just going there and maybe experiencing something that you could on your own with your spouse. We want to reward you with an experience that you will go back and say, wow, you wouldn't believe what I just did.
What is the craziest, biggest thing that you have put together? I mean, did you blow up any countries or anything like that, or
No, haven't gotten to that opportunity yet.
Overthrow a
No.
government,
Yeah, have you done that? Overthrown a government?
We've
Good
not done
question,
that. We've
Joey.
not done that. But I think some of the most exclusive things I've done. I've taken over the Vatican Museum.
You've taken over the Vatican?
Well, wait a second.
Did you hold the Pope hostage?
We've arranged to have the Vatican Museum opened only to my group of 60 people, which was really nice because because normally there's thousands and thousands of people.
Sure.
Got to kiss the ring to make that happen.
You had to,
really?
Well, it was an interesting story. I was competing on a program to Rome, and my client kept telling me, well, your competitor is telling me that they will get the Pope to come to our cocktail reception.
Yeah, really?
I said, seriously.
Heavy drinker, the Pope.
And so I had made some phone calls. I think it was Archbishop Regali when he was here in St. Louis.
Right.
He was the former press secretary to the Pope.
Okay.
And to Pope John Paul II. And
so I
reached out
here.
to his office
Yeah.
and I said, okay, this is what my competitor is saying they'll do. And he said, no, that would never, ever happen. The Pope will not do one and will not go to a cocktail reception.
Could you have had like the Pope's wife? What?
The secret wife? No, I don't.
What?
The secret wife.
Oh,
Of
that's right. The Pope
No,
isn't
they don't get married.
Yeah,
No.
I
John
knew that.
Ratzenberger, he was one of the popes, and he loves to drink, famously.
I bet you John Ratzenberger could have come.
Well, in that new movie, John Lithgow wanted to be the Pope. Have you seen Conclave?
Conclave.
Yeah, I bet you John Lithgow's taking any role in the world now. He would have come to your party.
Probably, but
Yeah. Well, that's good. So
but no.
you tried to get the Pope.
I weaseled out of it because somehow I just had this little voice in my head. I'm in the boardroom with all the executives. No, and I just threw the question out there. I said, of all you people around the boardroom table here, how many people are really interested in meeting the Pope?
Oh, wow.
I took a chance that it wasn't going to be a largely Catholic audience.
Yeah.
And everybody except for one said no. They had no, and so it's like, well, then why are we even discussing this? Why is it a big deal? We ended up getting the business.
I wish you had told me, I'm Mr. Negative Nancy, I guess you would call it. What was the biggest disaster? I mean, what a fiasco. I want to quit this business and go hide. What was the biggest fiasco?
I think the most challenging fiasco I had, I was in Bahamas doing a large event, and we were doing a business meeting in the morning, had multiple screens up, and if you're ever involved in that, and it's trying because you got people that are bringing you presentations at the very last minute. It's not in the right format. You got 5 minutes to get it up on the screen. So at any rate, we're doing this business meeting, and the company that we had hired to do this did not bring in a lot of their top-notch equipment, and this was the client himself. They were a technical company, so it would reflect badly on them. And we were trying to get the doors open to the ballroom to get started, but one of the screens, the projector was showing upside down. They couldn't fix it. The other one was really blurry. So it was, and fortunately, we had breakfast served in another room, and we had a marching band that was going to come in and move them
from breakfast.
Yes.
You got a marching band for breakfast.
It's called in the Bahamas, it's called a Junkanoo band. It's like their Mardi Gras parade.
For breakfast.
And so, after breakfast, we had the band come in, play up, and then we're going to parade the people into the ballroom for the business meeting portion.
For like the eggs and
why not?
French toast.
Just work off that breakfast. And so at any rate, fortunately, we had the band just stall and play a couple of tunes so we can get it to the best. So we do the business meeting. It's going okay. I'm really frustrated with it. So right after the business meeting was over, we're turning the ballroom over with that same production for their gala awards dinner. And having just a challenging time with this crew, they keep saying, the new screen's coming, the new screen's coming. And an hour and a half later, it still wasn't coming.
I hate that.
And so I finally just said, you guys aren't going to fix this, are they? And one guy, kind of wised up to me, and he said, no, he says, this is probably what we're going to be able to work with tonight.
And that was it?
So I by God's grace, there was another production company that was coming in the hotel for an event. This is at the Atlantis Resort. They were coming in for an event the next day, and so they were getting ready to set up, and I met them in the hallway. I was standing outside and saw my hotel person, and I was venting to them, and they said, well, you should talk to this person. I talked to that company. They said, what do you need? I brought them into the ballroom. I showed them the room. I said, this is what I want. They said, yeah, we can do that. You need to get this stuff out of here.
Yeah.
So I fired the company we had hired.
What'd they end up doing?
They ended up yanking everything out, and the new production
they're
company.
on the Bahamas. It's an island.
That's why I say it was God's grace. It was God's grace that this other production company had to be happened to be there setting up a day early. So I was able to use all their new equipment, and it was perfect. It turned out
well,
right.
That's a happy ending. I thought maybe there'd be like car wrecks and things like that. Well, as for being a travel professional, I mean, a lot of stuff, especially people, they're going on vacation, they're going stuff like that. I mean, as an insider, what are some tips or what are some little, things that people should know that are out there that can be done that we don't know about to make travel a little bit easier and a little bit more fun? I mean, what are some insider bits?
Yeah, I would say if you're going international, invest in Global Entry.
What is that?
It's a program the government runs. It's about $250, I think. And what you do is you go online, you fill out your application, and then you can do it in St. Louis for St. Louisans here. You just do an interview with the federal agent at the airport. They've got an office there, and you get a global entry passport, both electronic. But the idea is when you come back into any port in the United States, you basically skip all of the immigration line.
Really?
So you just go to a kiosk at the very front. So I've had times where I'm traveling during the holidays. I was traveling with my former boss who was not Global Entry, and we were coming into Atlanta over the holidays. I think it was like 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Right.
And the immigration line was about 3 hours long.
Wow.
And I went to Global Entry. I was through. I had my luggage and was at my gate like a half hour later. She completely missed the flight, had to overnight in Atlanta. And,
wow.
So, definitely recommend that.
So it's called Global Entry.
Global Entry.
So, okay, so that's what we're going to do for travel. Say we want to get to a hotel. And a lot of these places, you notice that one day it'll be $20, next it'll be $2,000. I mean, what's the best way of getting the best rate, like saying on a hotel?
On a hotel? Yeah. I mean, I would say if you're planning, if you're somebody that likes to plan ahead, I'm sure you are.
Me? It's like, hey, I just woke up, I brushed my teeth, and I thought, and Joey said, hey, you're supposed to be at the radio station. But go ahead. Yeah,
no, I would say, you're going to get your best rates if you wait till the last minute, right?
Till the last minute.
But then again, you run the risk of not the hotel you want not having a room available.
Okay.
But generally speaking, I mean, if you're traveling as a couple, I would wait till the last minute to do that. It doesn't work that way in the group business. In the group business, you need to book a year and a half, 2 years out for a large group,
right.
To be able to do that and secure your rate.
Okay. What about any other?
But I would say, one other tip I would say is I would not use a third party like Hotels.com or any of those. I would say no. They look good. The rates look good. Mm-hmm. But what happens is they're not actually booking on the hotel system. If you have any issue, as I did, I had a travel interruption one time. I had booked on a third party site, and I kept calling the hotel saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to come in tonight. I need to cancel my room. Come tomorrow." It took me forever to get a hold of them, and they're like, "We don't have your reservation." Well, that was because it was through Hotels.com. I couldn't get through to them.
They're our new sponsor.
They don't. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that's great. I know
joking.
It's difficult for you to get sponsors, but
it is. But I don't know. Well, you came in with your money sack. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
But yeah, I would highly recommend not using a third party company. They're just, I find it, and I've had this on multiple occasions, they're just more of a challenge.
So like a World Pass, you're going to make sure that we get our accommodations at the last minute and actually through the source. Anything on airfare? Any way we can save on that?
No.
Can't do it?
No.
Really?
No, I've not found anybody that there are.
You must know something.
You're just holding wholesalers, for international travel.
Okay.
That I don't even know their names. I've looked at them, and they can get you again last minute. Hey, you want to fly to Europe for $200?
Yeah.
You can do this, but it's kind of like you got to be ready to go at the last minute.
I mean, how can people get in touch with you?
Gap Group, GAPP.
GAPP
Group.com.
Gapgroup.com, and they can book their travel or events.
Well, it's only we only service incentive group travel, so not couple. We're not a travel agency.
No, he's not a travel agent.
But I will tell you, if you're a special friend of Todd, you can always reach out to me through Gap Group, and I will not special friends like your little guy, but
Stan Little Man.
Stan Little
he doesn't
Man.
show up or anything.
But it's one of the things I always tell my friends and businesses such as, like, if you're going to travel somewhere, right?
Right.
Reach out to me. I'll give you advice. I've been to 88 countries. and a lot of them many times. And I've collected a lot of knowledge and information, and I have a great network of friends over there. So if you want to go to Hooters in Interlaken, Switzerland, I'll get you a good table.
Well, you had fun today? I
had a great time.
Do you have fun? Do you have fun? I had fun? Okay. Mitch, you have fun? You had fun.
Joey, wake up.
Oh,
Great tune.
Mitch actually sounds good for a change. Thank you, Mitch. That was wonderful. It's only taken a year and a half for you to get your act together, and he finally did it for you, Pastor Mike. Well, hey, I think that's going to do it. Is it going to do it for you, Joey?
I think it is Christmas time, and we need to be excited, spend time with our family. And don't just give the gift of Tootsie Rolls. Take them on a trip. You know, a gift of an adventure is what people really want. They don't want another stupid stocking stuffer with a Lego kit in there or something.
Oh, what you do, you send them on a trip and you stay home. And there you go. Wow, and I am in big trouble now when that comes out. It was a joke. Well, in the meantime, I hope you all have a good holiday week as we get closer and closer to the big day. And you know, like I always say, Joey, if you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. Until next time, it's Pastor Mike, Joey V, my bestest buddy, and me. I'm Todd Schowalter. This is The Right Mind Show. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to StudioTodd.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at NewsTalkSTL.com.